Nice to see you again.
It's my pleasure and privilege to have you here today. So, how are you today?
I'm fine, pleasure to see you again. It's beautiful office. And I'm sure today we will discuss a very interesting topic.
Yeah, so what do you want to discuss? Or you want me to choose the topic?
Well, I heard once about so-called medical food. I never heard it before. And I know that in your office it is possible to buy this medical food.
Yeah,
just what is it in general? Why people need it at all?
Medical food is a very interesting topic, and I want to just make sure that our listeners and you understand what it is all about. We use medical food in mostly two situations. First, if somebody is really sick and we want to go to elimination diet and we use some kind of treatments and we want to make sure that it's not food that creates a problem. So in this very particular situation we want to go to medical food that is kind of pure, natural, and devoid of some kind of agent that can cause allergy or something like that. That's extremely important in elimination diet. So in this case, we put the patient on medical food instead of regular food, and this allows the digestive system to kind of calm down.
You're talking about people who have like stomach problems?
Right, stomach, digestive system problems, because it's quite common situation when somebody comes and we figure out that's mostly allergy or intolerance of foods, but we don't know which one. So in this case we use so-called elimination diet. So what we do is to put on the minimal allergic foods, that mostly meats and vegetables, and then gradually introduce other foods and see which one causes the reaction. So that's called elimination diet. So if the patient cannot tolerate certain products, or this person is a vegetarian, so we can't go to meats and vegetables, so we need a pure vegetarian diet that is kind of it's highly unlikely, that is unlikely to cause any allergy. So the only solution is medical food.
You said there are two options. What is the second option?
Yeah, the second option is for busy people who doesn't have sometimes time to shop or just cook healthy foods, and they want something quick. For example, they wake up in the morning and they want a breakfast fast. So what's the option? So it's just
probably you're talking about man whose wife just left for 2 weeks, and he's very busy at work and he doesn't know how to cook, so he buys medical food.
Look, not everybody has a wife. So first of all,
that's true.
Not everybody has even girlfriends. So sometimes girlfriends is coming only once a week or twice a week, and this kind of person he needs to have something that is quick and easy to use.
What about women?
Women, the same thing. Not every woman likes to cook, and that's important because in order to make a health. By the way, in my understanding, it's not that simple.
Why not just to call restaurant or cafe and order takeout? They will bring ready food. Then you don't need to cook. Then you don't need to shop. Delivery.
Well, let me ask you this. Supposedly you're a restaurant, or let's talk about restaurant owners. Do you think that restaurant owners are concerned with how to make healthy food for our taken? I don't think so. They're thinking about how to pay their rent, that's what they're thinking of. And they use a lot of tricks. I'm not talking about every restaurant, but most of them, they use a lot of stuff to make sure it's very tasty and easy to cook and cheap. That's what they're concerned with, the price. So what they do is that they use a lot of flour, and that's not a secret. And who wants to go gluten-free, obviously, I strongly recommend that they don't use restaurant food, because it's a lot, it cannot be 100%.
Are you saying that this medical food you're talking about is better than restaurant food?
In my understanding, 100%, because what they usually do, first of all, they put two things that I'm opposing, at least 10 last years of my life. Salt,
And
and MSG.
what is the MSG?
MSG? Well, it's a very interesting story. It actually happened in 1945 when our soldiers came to Japan, and they found out that the food of Japan's soldiers are much tastier than the food of US soldiers. You don't know about this one. That's what
Never heard.
And they figured out that the reason why Japanese soldiers have a tastier food than United States soldiers because they added the compound that's called MSG into the foods, and that actually made food much tastier. That's a special ingredient. It's a chemical. It's a chemical that creates a very nice taste. It's glutamate. It's a glutamate-related compound that is like an amino acid. It enhances significantly flavor and taste. That's what it does.
It looks like the way you're saying, but it's not so healthy.
Well, in my understanding, I can talk about that a lot because nowadays the glutamate receptors are linked to a lot of, overstimulation of glutamate receptors linked to a lot of adverse effects. But that's what is behind it.
Yeah.
Behind it. So as soon as you pay glutamate or glutamate-related products, or you brine it, for example, you take a piece of meat or chicken, a rotisserie chicken you're buying, just read what is inside. And a lot of rotisserie chickens you buy from the superstores, they were brined with MSG. That's why it's so tasty.
So are you saying that to avoid any of these issues, sometimes people buy medical food? That's
what it is. At least in my understanding, that's 100%. Listen, that's my opinion. But in my understanding, it's definitely better than restaurant food. I don't think it's better than natural food, but it's better than restaurant because it's very easy. You wanna cook a very nice chicken, no problem. Brine it in MSG and salt, and you're done. That's what it's all about. But this is no good for you, and that's why what we have is the medical food that is designed for those people.
So you brought some of the examples. I want you to talk about it a little bit more. Paleo Cleanse Plus dietary supplement.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah,
so it's a medical food, and the benefits of that is this. See,
Let's show one more time.
just check the show the another side.
Other side?
Yeah, the what is inside. So basically, what is it all about? Why this is so?
But ingredients nobody will see, but they will see.
No, but I will just let them know, the viewers. Okay, so basically, why we are so proud of this product is because it contains a lot of other stuff. Because it's not only proteins, vitamin A, C, D, E, niacin.
What is it? Pills? It's a powder?
No, it's a powder.
Powder.
It's a powder. Just it's magnesium in it, zinc, selenium, copper, manganese, chromium, molybdenum, okay, and L-threonine, lysine, etc., etc. So
you mix up with water or with what?
Yeah. So what you do? That's this called that's from tapioca actually made, and what we do is just to take a couple of spoons. Yeah. Take a couple of spoons and put it in a glass of water and just mix it and drink. It is very easy.
It's like shake?
Right. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
So it's like lunch? What is
it? Depends on what you want to achieve. If you want to you can have a
So what, does it replace vegetables and meat? What exactly does it replace? And why it's called pie?
The idea is yes. The idea is yes. And the reason for that is because, look, that's one of the options. I'm not saying that everybody needs it.
Paleo Cleanse Plus, natural vanilla berry flavor, dietary supplement for professional use only. What does it mean for professional use only?
Means that you can buy it over the counter. You can buy it only in the medical office.
In medical office, like yourself. Okay.
But the idea is this. Supposedly, I want to just weekly get something to eat and go to the store and buy a rotisserie chicken. Does it have all the supplements there? Vitamins? Obviously not, because it's cooked. As soon as the temperature rises about like 70, approximately 65, 70, all vitamins are gone. You know that, right?
So it should be raw water, it should be boiled water. How does it work?
No, personally, what I use is filter water.
Filter water.
Yeah, 2 times. Just I have just 2 filters and goes through 2 filters and use 0.
2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons, yes. 2 tablespoons.
And it's like 1 meal,
Right.
basically. 2 tablespoons,
No.
filter water, and
I
it's
would
like
say
one.
that at half a meal,
Half a meal.
half a meal. No, if somebody is hungry, needs 2 of them.
And it's good taste, you're saying?
Yeah, it is a nice taste, of course. The taste is good, but the thing is that, or I forgot to mention a very important thing. Suppose if somebody is a vegetarian,
Okay.
doesn't want to get something made from meat. That's the option. Or if you have seen, suppose you have this, yeah, this from the greens. Okay, this greens,
Then let me see.
and this is
Essential greens,
yeah, and this is from pea. Okay, so this
cranberry
is a perfect-
flavor, essential greens. It replaces it's like powder with vegetables.
Right. See what it says is just barley grass juice, wheatgrass juice, okay, carrots, spinach, beet, tomato, kale, parsley, color. See,
It's
that's
also
what it is.
powder.
Right. Yes, that's the same thing. So who wants to follow the vegetarian diet? Maybe because of some kind of religious beliefs or something like that. You know, it's a lot of people, they want to be vegetarians.
Not necessarily religious beliefs.
Yeah.
A lot of being vegetarian today is very popular in America.
But
They don't need to be religious.
Right, exactly. But the problem with vegetarian diet is because it lacks a lot of vitamins, especially vitamin
Correct.
B12. So in order to overcome this problem, we need something that is vegetarian in source, but at the same time rich in vitamins and nutrients.
Are you saying this one?
Yeah,
This powder
look at the
includes-
list. Look at the list. List is expensive. How many ingredients here? 40?
Oh.
Yeah, something like that.
It's
Yeah,
like-
that's a lot.
Look like 1, 2, 3, everything. Yeah.
That's why it's kind of expensive.
For how long do you need? Like for 2-3 weeks? How long? For how long? One jar like this.
It lasts. It
Yeah.
depends on what you want to achieve, because, as I said, there are 2 main conditions that you want to use. Is first, it's elimination diet, when we want to just give digestive system a rest. So what do you?
So you're saying it could be like breakfast and dinner are like regular food, like once when you're in a rush, this one, for
Yeah.
example. So it's not necessarily eat 3 times a day.
No,
It could be
I
once.
wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend to use it 3 times a day.
Because it will be
Obviously,
not
but
for
you will
health.
get.
Problem.
It's not about that, but you know, most of the time, can you imagine? Let me ask you this: what's your favorite food?
Not very
It's
healthy.
not. Just doesn't matter.
Okay,
but just pick
potatoes,
one.
potatoes, vegetables,
Okay,
and chicken.
If your wife feeds you with potatoes 3 times a day, 7 days a week, what will happen?
I like potato, but not to such extent.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That even though it's maybe a nice food, it doesn't mean that you can use it every day. You need some kind of.
So it's basically this is for so-called emergency situations when you're in a rush, no time, and you decide.
Or you can make it a breakfast. Or you need to stick to it 3 times a day if you want to give your digestive system some rest. That's the pretty common situation, because sometimes some people go to eliminate, or they can't tolerate it. Every food creates a problem. That happens, and no matter what we do, it's still a problem. So we go to medical food.
So it looks like this is popular among like younger age people, working people. You know, like 35, 40, 50 years
Well,
old,
I would
55.
say that this is popular in the population who is health conscious.
Uh-huh.
That's what we are talking here about. Who doesn't care what he eats, obviously that's not for this person. That's not for it. But who really wants to take care of himself or herself, that might be a good choice. And I just mentioned 2 situations when we want to do that. And of course, once again, if there is not the kind of critical situation, we will not give some rest, digestive system, but he wants to put some kind of some different food or some. Oh, wait a second. Another situation: somebody is supposedly a truck driver or maybe a taxi driver, and it's hard for him to have healthy food on the go. Who is on the go?
But they will not have an option to do shake in the taxi.
Why not? Just get some water, just put a couple of teaspoons, shake it and drink it.
Like this?
Yeah, that's not necessarily to have a mixture or something like that. So you just can shake it with a spoon or something like that. And that's the healthy solution, because a lot of people, a lot of taxi drivers almost always complaining, and they're saying, "Doc, how can I get healthy food when I'm at work, when I'm on the go?" Can't do that. Can't do just.
So, what are the comments, like how the reaction of people, patients who are buying this in your office and sometimes use it? Are they happy about it, or they're saying, no, I tried once, it's not my taste, and or they're saying, you know what, let me do it all the time, let me buy it, it's very useful.
Listen, we have all the
Or is it
comments.
once in a blue moon?
Yeah, because a lot of people, they like it. Not everybody. Some people taste it and say, hey, it's not for me. But that's what the life is about, It's not for everybody, and some people just forget, and they just this jar to take in the taxi. Some people forget.
So it's just like a replacement of the regular fresh food, and it's not necessary. It's not dangerous. It's approved by American authorities. I mean, it's not
at least it's better than fried potatoes.
That's
French fries.
French fries.
Yeah, they're French fries.
And McDonald's.
Yeah, no, McDonald's is not that bad. Actually there was a movie, I forgot the name of the movie, and they just actually proved that McDonald's, if you use it correctly, if you
order salads there, yeah?
If you use it every day, 3 times a week, obviously nothing is good.
That's like your story about potato 3 times a day.
Yeah, potato 3 times a day, but that's no good. So everything is good in moderation, except some kind of poisons like alcohol or salt. I want to stay away from salt. And
this is not salty stuff.
No, that's some sodium, but very limited. Very limited. And by the way, salt is not that bad as it is, provided that you can compensate it with some kind of onions, like potassium or magnesium. Because you can't stay away from salt altogether. But the problem with food is that it has sodium, but it doesn't have enough potassium or magnesium to overcome salt. Okay, so if you balance it, it's not that bad salt. You can get some salt, but very minimal, if you have a lot of potassium to compensate.
So you're saying some of the patients actually asking you, doctor, if I'm in rush, like you say, taxi driver or someone who is in rush, what should I do if I don't have enough time?
Right.
Do you have any other option?
Yeah. Or vegetarian. Vegetarian, a very big just chunk of people who want medical food because of their vegetarians.
And you're saying it's safe?
There is no 100% product that is safe. For example, let me ask you a question. Do you think water is safe?
Depends what kind of water, but from what I read about last 25 years in New York City, if you're not in a subsidized housing like Nacha, now it's a big scandal about it. But usually yes, and there is safe.
Okay, so let me tell you something. That water can kill. And I have seen a lot of patients in the hospital who drink water, they end up with seizures.
But again, the New York City government saying New York City water is safe all the time.
Nothing to do about that. If you drink too much. If somebody drinks too much water, what happens is the sodium goes down, and this person can cause.
You're talking about raw water, or you're talking about any water?
Any water. Just supposedly you have a pristine water from Alpine Creek,
But each time I see you in the office, you have a cup with water and you drink it.
Oh, but just don't drink that too much. But I'm telling you, those people who has some kind of mental issues, they don't have the correct drives, they drink too much, they end up with seizures, and the water can kill.
Usually people complain about not enough water. You're saying it's too much water sometimes.
It doesn't matter, either too much or too little. That's what it is all about. You can take something you wanna. Or let me give you another example. Air. Supposedly we have air. Okay, just very clean air. Is it safe?
Probably not. We have cars everywhere, etc.
No,
etc.
supposedly it is very clean. Is it safe or not? Just when you go home after the stop, try to do it. Very simple experiment. Try to breathe like very fast, the very fast rate, and we'll see what happens. You will become dizzy.
Nothing is ideal in this world.
Yeah, that's what it is all about. So the same thing is, nothing is 100%. Walking in the street is not 100% safe. You know, so if somebody takes it too little.
So you're saying medical food is for people who are really in need of this food, like
right,
either in Russia or vegetarians. It's not like
or
compensating from everything.
Yeah,
You know?
no, it's not. But what I'm saying is that if somebody very sick, with almost 100% probability that we go to medical food, and that might be the only solution we have. Or who is in the rush, who is in the go, who wants to be vegetarian, you know, that's maybe a very good option because this food contains a lot of other supplements besides protein.
Yeah, I saw. List is
Right.
huge. Yeah.
This is huge, and the problem with vegetarian, just regular vegetarians, because they're lacking in their foods a lot of vitamins, like vitamin B12 most often, as a one who don't want to have.
Also, I noticed like the way you're saying when you're in rush and not time. In some ways, like to lazy people who don't want to go to buy stuff in stores, to cook, to prepare everything, etc.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Just get this shake. Once again, just some people, they don't have time. Supposedly, let me talk about that kind of category. Supposedly, there's a student. By the way, I forgot to mention, but it's quite often a quite common situation. Student who goes to classes in the morning and goes to work in the afternoon and the night. Do they have time to shop? Probably not. They're sick and tired when they just get the from 8 to 4 they have classes, and from 5 to 9 they have their job. Do you think they have energy to cook or to cook? No.
Yeah, unless they buy some stuff, like chips and stuff, better to buy this.
It's better to have this than salty chips.
Yeah, I agree.
This is for sure. It's much better idea. Much better idea. And that's always, you know, not every people have time and the ability. And that's my
Final question, is it affordable for regular folks or it's too expensive?
No, it's not. It's from about 30 to 70 bucks. And usually it's about 1 month's supply.
Oh.
So yeah, so it's very affordable. And
70 bucks for a month's supply.
Yeah, I think that's the one that has 70 bucks.
That's
But,
it,
you
that's
know, yeah,
affordable.
but that's
very affordable.
no month supply doesn't mean that you can stay that's all your food only
Yes.
you can eat. No,
Yes,
that's
regular food and this one, yeah, I
yes.
understand.
So basically,
It's
that's
not
what
just
it's
this
all.
one, yeah.
You can't for 1 month you can't have 70 bucks
Yeah,
bottle
I
and just.
So, and also, you know, like in the office of Dr. Kalitenko, you can buy essential greens if you want, like, to make it different variety.
It's a very good
of
idea.
medical
It's a
food.
very good idea. Okay, so pretty much it. Any other questions? I think we covered everything.
Yes.
Anything else we didn't cover?
At least not about medical food. The next topic is next time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate
And
it.
see you then.
Very interesting.